Brae Elementary School, team teaching is building an inclusive culture with two teachers who collaborate for the success of all students.
Co-teaching is when two teachers will co-plan, co-teach, co-assess to ensure that all kids are getting what they need. We use a lot of data and we use each other to make sure that we're hitting all of our kids' needs.
We have a very diverse group of learners. We have 27 total students. 11 of them are students that have an IEP. 5 of them are English language learners. We have 2 students with 504 plans and 4 students who will receive Level 4 Advanced Academic Services next year. So it's a wide range, but it really works.
School leaders encourage team teaching opportunities by providing professional development and building co-teaching relationships.
Instinctively, it was going to work because of what they believed about kids. And so I think that was my driving force in wanting to partner the two of them together.
She was coming down from second from 5th grade. I was starting a new grade that I had never taught before. So it was nice that we started our relationship out on like a totally blank slate.
I think that that's one thing that really helped, because it's not like we just adopted whatever Carlin was doing and I was in here and we're like, okay, this is how you run your stations, this is how you do your day-to-day. It was really like coming together.
Because there are 27 kids here wanting to learn something, and you have to kind of figure out, okay, this didn't work, so let's try this. Or I didn't love the way that we did this, so let's do this instead. So the compromise just came over time. Mm-hmm. What is the book really about?
We respect each other a lot, and so there were times where I would be like, I don't know how I feel about this, and just say like, I'm going to try something completely new. But it's basically built on a lot of like mutual respect and trust for each other. You know, you have to believe that other person is going to, lift you up when you're not having a good day. You have to believe that they're going to give you grace when you need it, and
they're going to call you out if needed to be.
Yeah, those are things that we really we built that relationship with each other to say like, I need you to pull more of my weight today because I can't do it. Or I recognize that you need some extras today. Like, I got you, I've got this. We had to really build up our personal relationship to let that professional relationship kind of foster.
We did it more like whole group last year.
Teachers use a variety of co-teaching models to ensure equally delivered instruction.
Specially designed instruction is used throughout the day, all day in this classroom, and I think that we both kind of agree it's just good teaching, and there's several of our students that consistently are able to pick up on the concepts that we want them to, and they just get it, they understand, and they're ready to move on, and they want more, and they need more.
Okay.
But then there are always just some learners that need intensified, specially designed instruction in order to make that progress that we want them to get. So that just means that we're going to pull them back in, and we're going to really hone in on that language that we're using with them, and we're going to give them a skill specifically that we want them to work on. And that's our focus. And then those kids that don't need that, they're moving on and they're doing something different, and they're extending and working at their level while we're meeting those learners at their level.
One thing I think is really important is that it's the teaching responsibilities are shared. So I'm not the gen ed teacher and she's not the sped teacher, and we have our separate jobs, but instead we are both teachers and we're in 101, and we both have shared responsibilities. Yes, I have some things on the gen ed side that I have to do. You have things on the special ed side that you have to do. But in general, we are 2 teachers who are working with the same kids. And that's really important for the relationship and for what the kids, kind of how they treat us and how the classroom flows. Raise your hand if you're going,
We do a lot of team teaching with both of us up in front of the classroom. That's really helpful because like I said, that the kids can hear that modeled conversation that we have. So we do a lot of team teaching with both of us. Station teaching is really big. That allows us to both pull kids of varying different levels.
And we pull all kids, so regardless of if they have an IEP, regardless of if they're AAP, they get pulled by both of us.
And as far as how we group them, it really depends on the subject, on the meaning of what we're trying to get out of it. Sometimes we homogeneously group, sometimes we heterogeneously group. It just really depends on the need of of that specific lesson. A lot of times, especially with reading groups, we'll do a lot of leveled groups, so groups that are at a similar level, and so that shakes out where you've kind of got kids grouped with the same kids all year long, right? They're reading at a 20 and then they move up to a 24, and then when they get the 24s and they go to a 28, and so whenever we can, we try and move those groups around so that the kids are getting shuffled in and they're not always in the same stagnant group, so that they're getting exposure to other kids' thinking and how other kids are kind of working through problems.
Don't forget, co-planning is long and short-term and the ability to adjust in the moment.
We started out doing kind of a weekly plan the week before. We found
bare bones, skeletons. This is the standard we need to hit. This is what we need to do. Just kind of plot it out.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, that's kind of where we take all of our planning, and we start out with that bare bones skeleton, and we say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this, and then throughout the week, we kind of on the fly do different things. We actually had something planned totally different for today and tomorrow, but then based on what these kids need, we need to backtrack. They're not all ready to make change yet for money, so we're going to go back and we're going to make sure that they're solid on their counting, even if that means that we're going to be behind it. Wow, he's doing a lot of work. And that comes with us sitting down and looking at their exit tickets. Jordan to really hone in on these guys. And
the 4-3-2-1 rubric is kind of how we base all things. Like, we'll even ask them to give themselves a score. So if we're on the carpet, hey, show me where you're at, 4-3-2-1. And it's essentially kind of the same thing as you would think of on the report card. 4, solid, demonstrates knowledge. They can get it. Mm-hmm. They can show they can show their answer and then explain their thinking. 3 is they're on their way. They've really got it. They need a little bit of tightening up. 2 is they've got some things going on and the wheels might be turning a little bit, but they need a lot of support. And then a 1 is we need to go back and completely reteach and start over. And so we're constantly using that 4-3-2-1, like where are you at, just to make groups, to change groups, to figure out who needs more of what and who's
we'll
good
even
to go
do
on.
Like our assessments with the 4-3-2-1, so that the parents kind of know it's not just us and we use it, but we also, that's our feedback to our parents as well.
Keep in mind, co-assessing takes many forms and reflects student progress.
We both kind of do, she does the more of the special ed data and collection there. I do a lot of progress monitoring and things like that, but we kind of share responsibilities and make sure that we can kind of collaborate together. And like sometimes she'll use things that I do for her data collection, or sometimes she'll pull a kid and progress monitor them. And we do a lot of informal assessing, because with the kids that we have this year, the paper pencil tests aren't necessarily going to show what they know. So we do a lot of note taking, a lot of just checking in with each other and making sure that we have other ways to assess rather than just this end of unit test that's the be all end all.
And faulting them for something that doesn't really work for them,
Why co-teach?
I love co-teaching with Megan because we get to kind of problem solve the kids together. So, these kids come into us as little puzzles, and we get to kind of work together to figure them out. And 2 brains is always better than 1. So we get to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and it's just nice to have somebody else in here instead of closing the door and having 27 kids and you. We have each other, and it just makes the job so much more fun and rewarding.
So this is my 6th year teaching, and I have never had so much fun. We really have a good time. It's working, and I think that we both, I shouldn't speak for her, but I'm excited about my job again. And it gives you this opportunity to share an awesome group of kids and an awesome experience with somebody else.